I had asthma all my life from a young child when I grew up in New Zealand, and had been put on medication and then more medication, and everybody was talking about managing it, but nobody was talking about fixing it. So I knew that the more I breathed, the worse I got, but I didn't know how to breathe less. I did pick up that I shouldn't be breathing through my mouth, so I made some changes. My control pulse was 6, and that felt normal to me. I didn't feel like I had asthma at the time. I was very stubborn and I resisted a lot of the practice. But within 2 days, I was off medication. I just didn't need to use it because already I had learned how to regulate how I was feeling through doing the pauses. So it took 2 days, and I'd been on medication for 55 years. The difference in going to bed at night and not having to have inhalers, or be able to go out for a walk and not have to have an inhaler in your pocket, and not feel panicky when you're in a group, not wanting people to see you using an inhaler. It was so liberating. I realized I was no longer being allergic to things. I'd had 50 years of rotten summers where I absolutely hated every summer. I tried to leave the northern hemisphere to go to the southern hemisphere to get away from the summer, or vice versa, because I had terrible hay fever and ended up in hospital several times and on nebulizers and on steroid injections. And for the first summer ever that I can remember, I was surrounded by pollen and cats and quite a bit of stress, and I didn't have any hay fever symptoms. The quality of my life went from probably a 5 to a 9.5. So that was, I practiced solidly for a couple of years. It's now nearly 7 years since I learnt the Buteyko technique. My practice is very sporadic now because I feel so well. I've had one head cold in 7 years. I've had no other problems except a broken arm. And the Buteyko technique helped dramatically with that. I didn't need any pain relief. The people in the hospital were asking me how I was so calm and how I wasn't needing Panadol or anything for my broken arm. And I was doing pauses down the corridor of the hospital. I think it's the best investment in your health of anything. If you can't get your breathing right, then everything else is like putting stuff into a bag with holes in it. I think it's the most valuable skill I've ever learned, and I'm absolutely grateful.